Hi there. So you bought this table and you want to get it together. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to do this. And really, I know how to do it because we bought one of these before and I put it together. So I'm going to pretty much do it from memory. And the first thing you want to do is open a bag of screws here and get them all sorted out. So you want to get these screws to go one by one into matching screws. So here's the instructions, and I'm probably not going to refer to those because I've done this before. So I'm going to open the screws. Basically, you want to get this bottom here done first. So you want to really get the top of it done. So the first thing you do is, well, let's not look at that. The first thing we're going to do is put these legs on the bottom of it. So that's all we're going to do. And for that, we need to get the hex screws out of here and the little hex wrench. So everything you do from this little package here, and these with screws you don't need the very last step, so put those aside. Okay, so all we really care about, or for the legs anyway, we care about this Allen wrench right here. And to get the legs on, we care about those little goobers right there. And so for the first step of this thing, you're going to get these legs, there's two of them, right here. You're going to put the screws in down through these holes here and screw it on to the actual, this becomes the bottom of the desk. So move all this stuff out of the way and get to work. So move this out of the way and all this stuff out of the way. Don't need it around right now. All we care about is this package of screws right here. And we care about the Allen wrench. This is our whole world right now. The rest of this stuff is just a distraction for later. And we're going to treat it like that. All right, so if you focus on one thing at a time, you'll succeed. All right. Here's the top of the desk, and you might wonder, okay, this could go on two ways. It could go on, you can do it wrong or you can do it right. So that's an issue right there. And maybe now we could look at the instructions because I forget. So how does this go? Okay, so the motor goes inward. So you know that the motor goes in, this will be perpendicular. So the motor goes inward. You set it up like you're really gonna use it, and you put the motor inward. And since we're doing it upside down, we're gonna put the leg across like this. All right, so hardest part might be getting these screws out of here. Okay, no, it's not so bad. So we're gonna get the screws out. There should be 8 of them. And put them someplace where you can find them. Right about there. Okay, now I'll take the Allen wrench. This is the Allen wrench, okay, you're going to use to put screws in. And the way it works is the wrench goes into the top of the screw. So you see the little hole there on top of the screw? You put the wrench in like that. And if it's in right, you can hold the screw on top of the wrench like that, okay? This isn't real hard. It's not rocket science, I'm sorry. I know you wish it was, but it's not. Okay, so now when this thing is up on the desk, when it's put together, this motor goes inward, and this leg will go on like this, like that. You see how that works? So what you're going to do is flip this over and screw that leg on. So flip it over. And as long as the leg is going, how can I say this? The leg does not go with the motor, it goes against the motor. So you want to put the leg like this, and you have the feet down toward the ground. This is the bottom of the desk, this is the top of the desk, okay? Now, you take the little Allen screw, which you have all ready to go here, and you have to get in here and get the first one started. So you can see down through here the hole where the screw goes. You just put the screw into there and turn it. Whoops, and it will come off. Whoops, and you'll drop the wrench. So now we start over and we hold this, put it against my body, and put the screw back on here. Sometimes you want to hold it with your finger like that so it doesn't pop off. And jam it into the hole here. As I said, not rocket science. Looking for the hole, there it is. Once you get the first one in, the rest are easy. First one, okay, see all that? I jammed it in. Now you gotta just simply twist it until it takes, and you're set. And now it's not going to work because I probably used the wrong screws for it. Again, when you don't read the instructions, you are sometimes in peril. And if you drop the screw in there, it's hard to get it out. Dump it out. There it is. So, longer ones, I think these are more reasonable. So we'll take these out of the bag here. And again, I'm doing this from memory, so bear with me here. Okay, put these onto here. And put one in here. And I dropped it. There it is. All right, so I'm going to put the screw in the hole here first. So it's in like that. You can see it's protruding down through. And I'm going to put it on here like this. That seems like it's too long, but I think that's reasonable for the leg. And now I'm going to put the little wrench in here and screw in the Allen screw. That looks right. In it goes. So you can just twirl it like this if you can. And don't put it tight all the way. Leave it loose so the rest can be fitted in easily without having to. So never tighten it first. Let it stay loose. See what I mean? Stay loose, baby. And put in the next one here. All right, so I'm going to put the next one in here. Tighten it up. So you'll do this for each of these legs. Squeak, 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 right? And these legs don't matter how they go on. You just want to make sure that they don't go with the motor, they go against it. So they don't go parallel to this surface, they go that way. That's the secret here. All right, we got 2 out of 4 in there. Let's put one more in here. And once these are all set in here, you can tighten them up really good with the Allen wrench. And if you drop these in here, they're hard to get out. On this one here, I'm just gonna try and put it on the wrench like that. Use my, whoa, dropped it. And so much for this being fast, right? Here I was trying to do it fast. I'm not going too fast. Okay, put a screw on there. Use your finger like this and just shove it in the hole there. And that works slicker than sliced bread. Tighten that screw up there. Now I got one more to go. So grab one more. Same thing, I'm gonna use my finger and just use your finger like that. Put the screw in the last hole there. Tighten it up. Whoops, drop the wrench, grab it, and tighten it up. There, now they're all pretty much in. Now once these are all in, you want to go for the tighten. And that means getting some leverage on your Allen wrench and tightening it up better. Hand tight, hand tight, hand tight, hand tight. And now you want to take your wrench and put it down so you get leverage and tighten it better. Tighten it tight, like that. Tighten it. Tighten this one. Tighten this one. Tighten this one. Okay. Whoops. Watch your fingernails. And that's about that. Okay, so now you do the same thing with the other leg. I know it's kind of repetitive, but that's how this is. Put that one aside. Let's grab the other one and the other bottom, if I can find it. Here it is. There's that. There's this. Okay, so again, I'm going to put it opposite of this peg. So if this peg is going this way, the leg will go that way. So we're going to put it on here like this, same way. And that's it. Same thing over again. Locate the wrench, which got lost. Half the trouble with this thing is losing stuff. You put things down and they disappear. And having a rug like this. Okay, there's the wrench right there. I'm just going to put the screw in again in the hole. I'll just go like this. Like that, right? Make sure it's on the right way, which it is. And just shove the screw in there. It's hard getting the first one on. Okay, there's the hole. Hold it steady. Put the screw in there. And I know I'm off cam here, I'm sorry. And I missed it, so we do it again. Sometimes you can do this a few times before you get it right. So that's fine. Okay, it's back in. Let's do it like this. I'm going to put it in here first. Like that. It's in there. Then you can just kind of line it up on this thing. And that might work better. There we go. Put the wrench in the screw. And look at the other holes to line it up. That's not working too good. I'm going to look underneath here and see where it is. Okay, there it is. There's the hole. Line it up like that. And there, it's in. Turn it. And once the first one's lined up, the rest are easy, right? Of course, I still have it in there. There it is. Whoa. This is not going well. Okay, there, it's in. So once you get that in, you just keep on going. Let's put a few more of those in there. Dropped it. Grab it. Dropped it. Okay, and get it in there like that. Put it in the hole here. And screw it down there. Now it's not going to wobble around. And we can do the rest of these. Grab another one of those. Put it in. Dropped it in the wrong place. There we go. And it goes. All right, and we'll do the last one here. And in it goes. Now all four are in, so we're going to tighten them up again. Move the right sideways and tighten it. Tighten that one, tighten the one opposite. There we are. Tighten the one opposite of that. So once this thing's all, these two legs are done, you want to stand them up and then try and build the table that way. So that's how this works. That's how I did it. Okay, they're all tight now. Stand it up like that, and the gear side, the side with these little gears here is where a rod goes through for the motors, and this pretty much goes toward the motor, so you know how that works, right? So go like that, and pick this one up, and so you know it's going to go like this. So just set them like that for now. Now you want to put the crossbar in. There is a crossbar. Crossbar is the longest part of this whole thing, and it looks like this, right? This is the crossbar. Now you have a hint. There's some holes right there. So, do I recall how this goes or not? It's going to go into here, but I don't remember exactly how, so that's fine. Let's look at the instructions then and see how that goes. Whoops, just lost all the screws. Okay, so how does this work? The crossbar goes in like that, and yeah, it goes in the side. You see how that works? So the motor is in the back. It looks like the crossbar goes on the back toward the motor. And that's how that goes. Let's get a better picture in here. Actually, I have a table to look at over here, because I just built one of these. Let's take a look at the one that I built over here. You see how the crossbar goes? The crossbar goes in the front. At least that's how this one is. Yep, it does go in the front. All right, so the crossbar goes toward the motor tilt. It goes in the front. So you might say, which way is the front, which way is the back? Okay, so the crossbar goes opposite of, it may not matter. Well, it matters. Crossbar goes in the front. Very strange. Okay. So the motor has a tilt to it. It's tilting that way. This one sure is anyway. And let me look at my completed table here. The motor is tilting toward the front of the unit, so I'm going to say that's the front. So let's do it like that. So that crossbar goes on the way the motor is tilting. The motor will tilt toward the crossbar. So to put this on then, I would recommend putting these on the floor to make it easier. So we're going to do that. Make sure the screws aren't lost. Here they are. Where can I put these screws? I'll put them here. All right, now I'm going to put this on the floor. Like that. And like this. And the motor is tilting toward you, and the motor is tilting up. And that's wrong. You really want to have the shaft going toward the shaft on this bar. That's how it goes. So that's how it has to go. So much for my doing this from memory, right? And you want to have the holes on this thing on both sides. So these holes got to be up so I can access them. So I put the holes up. And what I'm finding is this might be backwards. It is backwards. Now I got to reverse these things. This one over to here, like that. There, that looks better. And this one over here. And now it's time for this crossbar. Now does that little part go up or down? It's again consult. Okay, it goes like that, I think. Wow. Okay. So this can only go, I think, one way. It can go two ways. So I want to figure out which way that hole goes. And from looking at my table, that hole goes down. It may not matter. All right, hole's down. So I'm just gonna put this into here then and locate the wrench. There's the wrench. Locate these little screws here. And in they go. So in that hole it goes. And into this part. Lift up the bar and thread it in. Not easy. There. There's probably a better way to do this, but all right, so that's threading in. Grab one more of these screws and thread that in to the crossbar. Move it around so it fits the threads. Okay, that looks fine. Now we want to move the whole assembly over so you can see the rest of it with the camera. And those will screw it into here. Oh yeah, and I remember now, when I did this, you want to put this drive assembly in. I don't think it matters, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter because it has a movable shaft. So don't worry about that. Just get this thing together. we'll do that later. So we're gonna put this in here, put the screw back on the Allen wrench, like, oops, dropped it. Screw back on the Allen wrench like this, and into the hole. If I can get it in there without dropping it. Sometimes you hold them at an angle and that'll help. No, it didn't help, did it? It went plunk. And when you drop things in there, it's like that would help you getting it out. There it is. And at this point, you might want to get a magnetic screwdriver. In fact, I can't get that screw out of there, so I will get a magnetic screwdriver, which I have here. I think this one's magnetic here. Get that thing back out of there. Okay, you might want to have a magnet around. And let's put it back in there. I'm just going to try and jam it in. Okay, good. I got it jammed in. And go in the hole. There it is. All right, that one's in pretty much. Let's get this one in. So once these are good to go, your desk is coming along pretty well. The hardest thing is getting these legs going because it's a little bit unwieldy. I'm just going to move it to line the hole up. There, the hole's lined up. And the screw dropped in the rug. There it is. Now, put this guy into here. Nope. Do it again. Sometimes you can hold your finger. Whoops, nope. Hold your finger there to kind of help you guide this thing in. Okay, finger. Holding it, guiding it. There, it's in there. Tighten it up. All right, so that gets that part on like that. And then we can stand this thing up and it gets a little easier. Make sure we have all our little screws here. There should be 4 of them. Yep, there's 4 of them. You don't want to lose those things. Okay, so tighten these up pretty good. Tighten it. Okay. Tighten this side here. And now you can see it's kind of shaping up to be a desk. Okay. There we are. All right, now let's put the drive shaft in for the motors, for the gears. So we're going to lift this thing up to its legs and it'll stand now. And it's pretty nice, isn't it? So this becomes the can the camera see this? The cam can see it, good. All right, so I'm going to move the desk into the cam here. Now we're going to put on the drive shaft. So this drive shaft will go on to the motor here. So you can see that it is slotted and this thing turns off. So don't take this little top off, but just loosen it and then turn it in here until it clicks in. Turn it and then you'll see it'll get stiff and click. That's it. Now I'll tighten this up so it won't come off. It'll clamp it down. See that? It's on good. Now, the middle part, see how it's flexible? Or it'll move. We're going to put that now into the gear, which is the driven side of this desk, like that. Now, we're going to go into this guy here, and you might want to move it a little bit. Okay, good. It's in. Click it in. It should go in until it hits it and bolts down. It'll go click. Tighten this middle one up pretty good. And that takes care of the drive shaft. So you're doing pretty good. Now, what remains are these parts that hold the table on, parts that hold the wood. So you're going to note that there are 2 of these parts, and you'll put your screws into here, and those go on the end. So let me show you how it works. There's the end right there, and those go on, I think, like this. I'm going to cheat and look at my other table. Those go on like that, I think. That looks pretty good. They wouldn't go, yeah, they have to go like that actually, so that's a no-brainer. Those go on like that. So, you're going to get your remaining little screws and put them in. There's 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab 2 of them and mount that side. So it actually, we're getting pretty close to being done here. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. Hold this up, put the screw in here, and put your wrench in here. Go on down here and wiggle it until it fits. Screw it in. That's it, look at that. It's going in, eh? All right, next one the same way. And then we'll tighten it up. Now after this, it gets rather exciting, I think, because it's really getting pretty close to done. Okay. There, now I'll give them a good tight, like that, and those are done. Now, the same thing happens on the other side. So we're gonna move that into camera view, like this, and do the same thing to that one. Find your end, find your screws, and go for it. Okay. As before, I'll put one in here like this. Put the wrench on it. Tighten up. Tighten it up. Dropped it. Don't drop things. Well, let's do the other one. When you have a shag rug and you drop screws in it, it's really hard to find them. I hate shag rugs. Okay, well, let's see, almost fell out. So you wonder, how did I get the first one going, right? Okay, got it in there. Let's tighten it. And that'll do that. Now, don't tighten it all the way because we gotta find the lost screw. Let's look for it. Okay, it fell somewhere down here. First of all, I have a lot of stuff down here that's in the way. Okay, trash, 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 save that, trash, screws. Okay, there, I found it, here it is. Got it. All right. So now we're gonna put this in to here. There we go. Tighten it up. All right, so from here, it gets more exciting. So these holes here are for wood screws to hold the desk together. So it's going to hold the wood top of this desk onto this desk assembly. So now we can move this out of the way because we don't need it yet. I know you're going to miss it, but that's how it is. You'll see your desk later. Move it off and out of the way. Okay, and now it's time to move the desktop over to your area of work. Here is the desktop. Now, it has screw holes pre-drilled. So you want to make sure you find the screw holes. We can take these out for now because they could get damaged. And you want to find the screw holes in here. It's going to have some screw holes here, which there they are. The holes go to the back. And you'll see there are little dowel pins here. These two parts fit together. So let's look for the dowel pins. Those are going to be in your hardware packet. Here's the hardware packet right here. I'm going to take a peek in here. Put some dowel pins. Dowel pins are wood. So we're going to set these little parts aside. And now we'll note what's in here. These are joiners for the wood. They go here to join them. And there's some dowel pins in here too, there's 3 of them. So take your dowel pins out. See those dowel pins? They're wood. And I don't think we need this little wrench anymore, so put it aside. And it's been a nice little wrench, hasn't it? So put your dowel pins into your desk. Okay, find your holes. There's a hole here, there's a hole here. There's a hole here, there's a hole here, there's a hole here. So put the dowel pins in the holes. 1 dowel pin in, give it a hit. The second one goes in, give it a hit. Third one goes in, give it a hit. Okay, it's done. Now, we're gonna join these 2 desktop parts together. So, you wanna make sure these little holes here, they're all pre-drilled, they're all down where they go, which they are. And get your other side. And make sure that you can see the holes in this one. Because you could put the other backwards, I doubt it, but you might. So, here's the other one. And locate the holes on which side they are, the pre-drilled holes. I don't see any here. I do see them here. So you see little holes here? Here, I'll show you. Ah, see a little hole right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. You want to put those dowel pins in these holes here. How do we do that? Well, make some room. Drop this on the floor, right? Line them up, the dowel pins, and just push them together. And that will complete your desktop as far as it getting lined up. The dowel pins are for lining it up. See how that goes in like that? That's it. Now, pretty cool, huh? So, let's take a look now at the camera, make sure we're capturing all this action. We are. Okay, so now the next step is to get the drill out and do some drilling. So, we first want to join these 2 pieces together with the joiners, little metal squares. Let's do that. I'm getting out the key to drill and getting out the screwdriver bit. All right, so for that, you should have a drill. I mean, you can use a screwdriver, but it's going to be tough. here's our drill. I'm going to put this on like a setting where it will make a buzzing sound. It won't strip the bolts. I want to go on to slow speed. That's it. Now we're going to start to work here. You want to find your wood screws, which I set aside somewhere. And the wood screws look like wood screws. Wood screws have pointy ends to drill into the wood. That's what I call wood screws. Okay, so open them up. You'll need 8 wood screws to begin. Here they are. Don't lose them. And now we're going to take these little plates here. Doesn't matter if they're up or down, and match the holes with the plates. You'll note that there's 4 holes right here. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have the holes of the wood showing through the holes in the little plate there. I'm going to put this screw on the tip of this nasty drill like that, and I'm going to hold the trigger and put it into the wood. Watch this. You'll love this. Okay, hold the trigger. The drill will make a click click sound, meaning it's done. It's torqued in. So now we're going to do this for 3 more screws. And do one side first. Now make sure that this thing is together, okay? And hold it together and then give it the rest, because these will clamp it. You don't want a gap, so make sure that there's no gap and hold this together while you're doing it. So with one hand, drill it, put your knee in the other side and hold it and torque it down. So holding it and drill it. And maybe do it again for the next one. And that's it. Okay, so that buckle's on there. We're gonna do the same thing with this buckle here. Put that thing on there and screw it on. There's that. Make sure these holes are kind of lined up there before you get too crazy and tighten this thing up. All right, let's do the other one here. And we're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. Okay, one. Now, you can make sure it's tight by your knee and your hand. Just pull it. That looks good. Let's put in the other 2, and this thing's going to be tight. And we're getting pretty close. Okay. Now, the next part, you may or may not like, but it's necessary. Can you wait to see? Can you guess what the next part's all about? Yep, you guessed it. We gotta flip the tabletop onto the table upside down. How do you like that? So we're gonna do that. Make sure these screws are put somewhere nice, not to lose them. And I'm gonna put them on here. Okay, now the tabletop, we're gonna flip it on there. So you wanna grab this tabletop and flip it. You might wanna get somebody else to help you. Now, what's important is we note that the holes, these round holes, are in the back. That's the back of the table. That's the back of the table. And we know the motor mechanism, the rod for the motor, goes to the back of the table. Okay, so watch this. Okay, you see this rod here? This goes toward the back. This goes toward those cord holders, okay? So turn this guy around. All right, turn it around, because that's how it's gonna go, and we're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it end over end. I tripped on stuff in the room here, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to flip this end over end. So I'm going to put the leg of the table against the tabletop and I'm going to flip it. It's coming around. You see how we're flipping it? Be careful. Watch your teeth, watch your mouth. Don't get your mouth involved. So you can knock your teeth out. And make sure the bar is toward the back, which it is. This part's critical, flip it. And now we're gonna line up those little holes. Okay, this is a little hard to do, but bear with me. Get your foot out of the way. Okay, now once it's set down, it's easier to work with. So here's how we're gonna do it. I'm going to take this table to show you one side of it because it's out of camera view. I think it is out of camera view. Whoa. So now we're going to get this part to match little holes here. Little hole, little hole, little hole, little hole, 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 hole. Make them match. Drag this over until you see the holes through the holes. So now I can see the hole, I can see the hole, I can see the hole. So don't hang around and think of how great this is. Just start putting screws in there, right? Don't lollygag. Don't waste time. Okay. So now it's time to find the drill and the screws. Again, here's the drill. We're going to need 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the 4 screws, and these are going to go in. And sometimes they get a little angry or anxious. Don't worry about the squeakies. That means the wood's wet or something. I don't know. All right, we're putting in these 4. And that's what we're going to do. And one more. All right, and I see like I might have forgotten a buckle there. Did I forget a buckle? Oh no, it's for these. Okay, so these things face out. I don't know what these are for, but let's put those on also. Since we're over here in the neighborhood. So we'll need 4 screws for that thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we're over here, let's get this one on here. The hook faces out. I guess it's for like hooking on cables and stuff. I don't know. It also holds the table together. Okay, that's on. Put this one on. Whoops. Anyway, how much time is going by? An hour? Not so bad though, right? I've not been that speedy, but that's how it is. All right, let's put this extra screw in here and make sure the table's together. It looks like it's together, so you can't really bend it now because the tabletop's on. All right, so 4 screws for this little guy here, little gal, and we're all set. And now we're going to move a table down to the other side. I'm sure you can't wait to see that, right? So, without further ado, here's the other side. Okay, move it. All right, I think that's in camera view here. Let's check the cam. Yep. All right, so same procedure. Gonna put in more screws for the tabletop to be bolted to the table. Table foundation, the table base. base of operations for the table. How long is this video right now? Do we know? Going on 50 minutes. Takes a while, I guess. All right. Here we are. Here we are. I'm looking for more wood screws. You want to find the holes here. Hopefully you can. There's one right there. This thing is built really well in that it lines up so well. It's really built well. Put this in. And I'm not going to tighten them all up yet because I want them all to line up. One more. And one more. Getting low on screws here, huh? Now we got a few left. That means you're getting toward done. I think they threw in some extra ones. Okay, let's get this one over here. And get these in over here. And then we'll put that hanger on here, and that's gonna be good. I hope my drill's got more power. Okay, and the hanger thing. This little guy here, the hanger goes outward. Like this, like this, like this. And now we're gonna put that on too. Get 4 screws and get to it. I got 5 left. So they gave me 1 extra, which was very nice of them. There are 2 extra screws. How do you like that? Which means that I forget some holes. Maybe there might be a hole in the middle there. Let's check that out. Okay. Here we go with this little guy here. Little cow. Put this buckler thing on here. Sometimes you can't hold the screws and do it all at once. You gotta let things go and get some momentum going here. All right. There we go. That's going in. And put this one in. So now once this is done, we can put the electronic machinery on this thing, and that's it. The table's done. Flip it over. Flip it up and done. There we go. So yeah, from memory mostly, plus I have the other table built to watch it, so I guess I cheated somewhat, but didn't read the instructions much. Okay. Okay, now it's time to put on the electronic machinery for the motors and all that stuff. And that all happens at, I think, the front of the table. So we're going to move the table so you can see it. So this is all now ready to go. We're just going to put on 3 more items and we're done. Thank goodness, because I'm getting tired. Okay. I've had some bad medical things that happened. And I'm not at my full power at all. All right, so we're coming around. Coming around. Now we're going to look at the machinery. And I'm going to look at my table that's already done and see where that stuff goes. Because, hey, why not? Or I can look at the book too. But common sense wise, and from memory, we need to get the 3 things that are remaining on the electronic side. So here's what's left. And from the school of obvious, I did it wrong. I want to have the table facing you at the front. It's not facing the front. The front's over here. How can I do that? Let's move it around and get it in the camera focus. Okay. There we are. Now, check the video focus, and it looks pretty good. There's a shadow. Well, we'll call it good. Looks like you can see it. Okay, so now, what's left? Electronic stuff. So, you'll note there are 2 holes here, hole 1, hole 2. This little devil here, the control box for up, down, all around, has 2 holes on top of it. Isn't that nice? And that's going to bolt on pretty much like this. And the transformer gizmo, you want the cord to come in from the side. So that's going to bolt on these 2 holes here, 1, 2, like that. You see how it works? And the power cord goes into there. That's all there is to it. So our biggest problem now in life is locate the screws for that. Well, those aren't going to do it. These screws here look pretty good, don't they? And when I did this with my other table, I couldn't find screws for the power unit. So I still can't find them, so I don't think they're here. So anyway, we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to put this guy on first. 2 screws like this, and they're pointy. So let's put those guys on there. Okay. And we'll get our faithful drill again and drill on. The trouble with the drill is finding it. Here's the drill. And let's do it. So with this, I'm going to put the screw through the top of it like this. Put it right in. And then put the drill on it. And that's it. Now we're going to try and get it into the hole, which might be hard. Use our eyes and finish this thing up. Get the drill onto here. Use your eyes. There. Yeah, maybe. And that's not going well. Revert to a screwdriver. A magnetic one. At that. Because the light in here isn't too good, it's giving me a headache here. Let's see. Okay. Screwdriver. That's on. There. Okay, put this one on. And you want to get a better screwdriver than this one. Screwdrivers come in various sizes, a 0, 1, 2, and 3. This one's probably a size 1 or 2 or something. Anyway, get rid of that one. Let's find a better screwdriver. These are my electronic ones for electronical work, for power. But they work great for this stuff too. So here's a nice big one. Screw this guy in. And get this one in. And you want to snug these down. Not tight. You got plastic here, so you don't want to make it too tight. Just snug it. Okay. See how I'm testing it to make sure it's tight or not. Okay, that's tight. Now we got 2 more screws to do and this thing's done. And I can't find those screws because the last table I couldn't find them either. So how do we do this? I go to my personal bin of screws and pick out 2 worthy candidates. So bear with me. 2 worthy candidates. So over here there's the screws somewhere. All right, I found them. So here's my bin of screws. Okay, we're just gonna pick some that are reasonably good. Some wood screws. And I deem these as the go-to screw for this operation. These look a little, nah, these will work here. Let's get 2 of these here. Let's get that one and this one and call it a day. They aren't exact, but they'll work. All right, let's try them out. Close this thing up and let's line this up and screw it in. See if our drill will work. Drill says yes, I'll work. And let's do it up. And again, don't make these super tight, just snug. Because you'll break the plastic. That one's in. One more. These screws don't match, but I don't care. Okay, back one here for the power transformer. Okay, that's it. Now these are all in. You want to plug the wires into the controller. This is a power pack. It gives the table power. So you can plug the cord for the table into here to give the power pack some power from the wall socket. So plug that into there. And that can just hang around for now. And now these 2 plugs are going to go into your controller. And notice how they're different. So one's small, one's big. And notice they have a little lock tab here. So just line them up and plug them in, they'll go snap and they'll be done. So I'm sorry it's off cam, but I'm going to do it off cam. That one's in, click. This one in here. And that will conclude the table. It's all together. That one goes up or down. This back one seems to go down. No, it doesn't. Let's go up. Yep, click. It's in. And make sure the wires don't pull out. Give them a gentle tug. Okay, now I don't see anything else to do. Is there a screw hole in the middle here somewhere? Yes, there is, and I didn't remember it. So let's get that screw hole in the middle used up. Let's get the drill. And we're going to put this one in the middle here, which I didn't see because I didn't read the instructions well enough. That one's hard to get. I'm just going to put the screw onto here. And am I on camera view? I think I am. Okay, let's get this one in here. All right, so that is it. I don't see any more screws to put in. I think I only have a few left. They have these little plastic dudes for, I guess, wire routing. I'm not going to bother with those. All right, so in my estimation, this table's done. So the only other thing to do is to put in the back cable router, plastic doohickeys. So let's flip it over carefully and admire the table. So it assembles upside down, as you now know. I'm going to flip it carefully and we'll go from there. So I'm going to grab it and flip it. It's heavy. Oh, it's heavy. Oh. Flip the sucker and see how it works. Okay. It's flipped. I'm going to flip it some more. And that's it. We're done. All right, table's flipped. I'm going to walk it over to the camera. Clunk. Actually, these holes in the back are good for grabbing it, so I'm going to grab it and drag it. So I'm dragging it over to the camera. That's the table. It's done. You can see how we joined it in the middle, and this one has a bit of a gap. It didn't come out so well, but that's probably how the wood was formed. Somebody like knocked this thing around, I think, when they delivered it. Okay, so these cable plastic things can go in now to the back of it, and the table's done. So that's how to build this table. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes, at least the way I do it. Put that guy into there. That's for your cables. And put this one in and you're all done. All right. Okay, so that concludes my video on this table. The phone fell off the chair here. Let's take a look at the table, how it came out. So there's the table. That's how it came out. And there's the little control thing there and all that. There's the underneath of it. And as you can see, I have another table over there. That's how I knew how to put this together. Did it once before. All right, well, thanks for watching. I got a mess to clean up. Have a nice day.